Welcome back, everybody. Today I want to talk about the Japanese Weiss Schwarz release for Blue Archive. This is coming out on February 9th. There are 5 things you should know about this set before you go ahead and pre-order it. That is, the pre-order dates. Is it coming out for English? What are the rarities? What about the new box config? And lastly, what did it look like for Rebirth for you? Because it came out there twice, actually. So before I begin, I want to show you this. This is my channel, of course, the third video right here. This is the Japanese Weiss Schwarz release schedule. I show you everything that we know is coming out for the next year. And you're going to want to check it out to make sure that you properly budget for all the good stuff coming. Because again, that video is the Japanese side. It is not talking about the English side. And we know that there is going to be plenty coming out for that one. It's going to be announced very shortly. What you're going to notice here on hammergirlanime.com, what you're going to see on here is a pre-order date for Blue Archive, and it's right down here at the very bottom. I'll read this to you. Pre-order period for the trial deck and booster ends at 10 p.m. on Sunday, January 21st. I've seen other people say January 21st. I've seen other people say January 22nd. The reason why this is important is because we have on the Weiss Schwarz English side, there is a winter 2024 announcement. We should hopefully hear some new titles coming out that'll be coming out for the next year for us. And that's going to be happening on January 18th at 9 p.m. Pacific. Or if you're like me on the East Coast, that's going to be at midnight. Why do they keep putting it on California time? I wonder why. But anyways, the reason why I point that out is if you remember, I just said the pre-order date that most people are putting out there is January 21st or January 22nd. In order to properly budget, you need to know what you're going to be spending your money on. So potentially, I would say, if you're budget conscious and you have the time to wait, what I would say is watch the English conference first. Make sure you know what is coming out and when, because there's going to be some people like myself that don't want to buy a set in the Japanese version and then have an English version come out, right? Dengeki, Bunko, and all the other stores that bought a bunch and now they have no idea what to do with it. Moving on though, Blue Archive. What we're going to see from Blue Archive, this is the actual official page on Weiss Schwarz for it. It comes out February 9th. Like I said, I don't have this in translated form because it's way easier to see the rarities right here. There are 45 SPs in this set, 14 triple rares, 83 SRs. So you're going to have one of these sets where there is going to be 1-for-1. You're going to have one base rarity card, and then you're going to have one fancy foily version for it. And there's happens to be 142 of each. There is also this one last thing to note, if you haven't seen it yet, is double rares. There are 15 of them. So the playset is going to be very fun to actually see what's going to happen with that, because we'll talk about the new box configuration in just a little bit. So down below, if you use the translated version, you're going to see a lot of names, 45 SPs. They are autographed by the cast members, as you could see below. There was some people definitely a little sad by some of the names that came up here because, you know, they're missing their favorite characters, favorite voice actresses that would have done this. Now, there is a trial deck as well, and as you can see down here, you're going to find right here 14 triple rares, 6 SPs. Now, some people are hoping a lot of things from this set, like again, having the characters, the voice actresses, and when they got to the trial deck, that was their last hope, and it was ruined. You are not going to see some of the characters that you want. And I've seen some people go, you know, great, I'm getting my one character, awesome. I've seen other people say, pass, I'm not getting the characters. So if your characters are not on any of these lists for signatures, I apologize, but maybe take a look at Rebirth for you, because there are some really nice cards out there, and they had different SPs. One of the ones you're not going to see in the Weiss Schwarz one is this one. So I'm sorry for my chocolate waifu lover out there, but you're not getting this one, and here he knows. He saw that on Facebook. I saw his comment. That's very sad. Next is the reconfigured booster boxes. As you can see, these are going to be changes that are occurring, and I know other people have talked about it. I stayed away from talking about it until we got to this point where there was a set that is coming out, and the first one that is going to be occurring to is going to be Blue Archive. Now, you're going to notice here on the left, back in 2023, it feels like so long ago, we had a booster box in there, and there were 16 packs inside of that booster box. Now there will be 12 booster packs. You're going from a pack having 9 cards down to 8. And you're going to notice there's prices right here. I'm going to zoom in here for you if I can go any further. This website won't let me go any further. But what you're going to notice here is on the cases, there's going to be 8. It's going to go from 18 booster boxes to 24. The magical part on all of that is the case price is going to be the same. In yen, it says 126,720 yen. Case prices exactly the same, but you're going to get one less card per pack, right? But you're going to get more booster boxes. So plus side for anybody else that wanted to get cheaper boxes, they are definitely cheaper in theory, but when you actually start doing the math on it, it might be actually harder to pull the SPs unless they up the amount. And that's why I didn't want to talk about this yet, because we're going to find out through Blue Archive what's actually going to happen here. We're also going to find out through another set, but first off, it's going to be Blue Archive. And one of the things I wanted to show you was the booster box case price, because how many of you out there remember what a JP booster case actually costed? Right? Like out here on Hammer Girl, it's showing as $797.99. And I tried to think back and I'm like, was it really that price before? And I'm like, no, it wasn't. And then I go back to this screen and I'm like, it says 126,720 yen. And that's quite a bit different from what I remember booster boxes coming out for. I remember seeing the first person that was selling Blue Archive. I saw it like 800, mid 800s, and then I saw someone else come out at 820. Now I see Hammer Girl at 797.99, and I'm like, man, what a difference that is. I can't wait to see when this comes out for English, when we get the configuration. Anyways, we don't know if it's coming out for Blue Archive in English Weiss Schwarz, but it's going to be neat because I wouldn't mind, and I don't know about any of you out there, an 800 booster box case that's not because it's crazy on sale and overbought and people don't want the product, but just in general, pre-order prices at 800. I could totally live with that. We'll see what's gonna happen here once we get this new configuration in one of the upcoming sets. Nothing announced yet that would use this one though. The other thing I want to show you here is, remember I just said about SP drop rates? Well, SP drop rates, Blue Archive is going to be the first set, but in theory, is this going to be the first normal set? And I would say no, because when you take a look at this, there are 45 SPs. And when you have 45 SPs, it's like, are we going to get the Hololive version or are we going to get the Dengeki version? So even though Blue Archive's coming out first and it has this new configuration, can I really fully say 100% that this is how a normal set should react? I would say no. The one that follows after it comes out on February 23rd. That is Captor Sakura 25th anniversary. I know a lot of people are really psyched for this one. The thing with this one is 3 SSPs and 8 SPs. So this is looking like, you know, a set that you can rely on. 8 SPs, 3 SSPs. We'll see what's happening with that one, because with that new configuration, even though the boxes look cheaper, you're going to have to buy basically another box to get to the percent you were at before if we use today's drop rates on SPs. So because of that, I'm going to hold my opinion on what the real drop rates are until we get to Card Captor Sakura. So that'll be interesting to see. But when you take a look at Blue Archive, going back on topic here, this is Rebirth for you. And this is a video, obviously, that Weiss Schwarz Rebirth channel out on YouTube did. You could see all the beautiful Blue Archive signatures on there. We also had the trial deck version, which looked really nice. They had serial numbers. Again, if you haven't seen Rebirth for you and there's serial numbers and all that good stuff, definitely something that Weiss Schwarz could have totally taken, but I know they want to differentiate, because if they take the exact same look, that's not going to be good, because then you can't tell the difference between the games, especially when they share IPs like they're doing with Blue Archive. Let's say Azure Lane, Hololive. There's more, right? There's definitely more. But those are some that I can name off the top of my head. But they also had a second set. So you got to see volume 1. This is volume 2. Just take a look at the sample of these pictures. I think they're really nice and a little bit of what you probably can expect to see on the Weiss Schwarz side, just because we all know they reuse some of the images. We've seen before where they've taken some of the images and put them in the signature slot. Some get reversed, right? If it was a signature in one game, it flipped to not being a signature. It was like a foil, but not the signature foil. So Blue Archive did really well. You can find it out here on Yuyute. This is volume 1. I'm going to zoom in here a bit for you so you can see some of these pictures. You can see some of the more popular ones that are currently sold out. There's one right here, Asuna, 99,800 yen sold out. But you will find some that are still in stock, and that's going to happen with most games, right? You're going to see all these different ones, but it's really cool to see how they hold up their value, especially with the serial numbers. When you look at Rebirth for You, their serial numbers do really well. And you may be going like, why should they not have serial numbers? Why should they have serial numbers? Why are they certain prices? Well, Rebirth for You, there were 99 cards with serial numbers for each one of these, right? So 99, 99, 99. And that is different from Weiss Schwarz, as we know, because they have ones where there are 10 of each, 1 out of 10. But with Rebirth, that's why you can see a little bit difference in pricing. But it's really cool. That's what they give in their trial decks. Normally, you don't get signatures in their trial decks, but you get serial numbers. Maybe something Weiss Schwarz should apply. Right? You don't have to steal the look of it, but maybe just that thought process that if you maybe you're not going to shove signatures in there, maybe shove some serial numbers. That might be okay. And then you have the SPs down here that are your lower rarity versions of signature cards, but you still have some beautiful art. So that's volume 1, and then you have volume 2 right here. These look really lovely. So if you haven't seen these cards before, they look really magical. I will tell you for sure that I'm not one of those people that have ever tried out Blue Archive. I have it downloaded onto my phone because I was like, you know what, everybody else is looking at it, but why not me? Why don't I try it out? But it looks really cool. I'm excited to give it some time and try it out and play it. If you have it, you can just take a look at why. I mean, I don't really need to give you all that explanation on why people want these cards and why it's been so popular. You just take a look at the art and you'll understand it. I almost want to say it's like a mini Azure Lane, and I'm not comparing IPs to the game or anything like that. I'm just saying when you think about what happened with Weiss Schwarz and Azure Lane, do you expect something to happen similar to like that with Blue Archive, especially when you see the comments about people that actually want it? I can also tell when I looked at Ami Ami for the pre-orders and we had Blue Archive come up and just disappeared. Disney 100 too got a reprint. Not Disney 100 number 2. Disney 2 actually got a reprint and it's there. You can see it was sold out. Free Ren, the booster box, also got sold out really quickly. So there are still interest in Weiss Schwarz. I know it's everybody talks the difference about Japanese and English. I think there's a lot of hype still for anything that comes out first. Can you imagine if Blue Archive came out to English first? How that would be? It'd be definitely more interest, I would say, in terms of collecting and buying into this. I think there's a lot of people that potentially will hold off on buying everything possible when it comes to Blue Archive just because there's this huge chance that it will. So even though it may not be announced this coming week for the Weiss Schwarz conference, one of the ones I think about coming out for English in the future, Blue Archive to me as like a, and don't just take my word for it, I'm going with like 99% chance that Blue Archive is coming out to English. I mean, why wouldn't you? They know they're going to make money off it. Why wouldn't you put it out for English? But wild things happen, and if you think it's not going to come out, maybe you should pick it up for JP. There's plenty of places offering it to sell, and I'm pretty sure some people are going to do the thing where they buy too many of it and regret it. Maybe they will regret it. Maybe they won't. It really just depends if it comes out for English. Because if we don't hear about Blue Archive coming out for an entire year, then maybe owning some extra. I think at this point, it's a good thing to be cautious with this set. We don't know what the art's going to look like, but just taking a look at Rebirth and how that was, I'm pretty sure they're not going to hold back when it comes to that. So when you take a look at the English schedule, we definitely do have some room to put some stuff on here. We do have Bocchi the Rock coming here in June. I say that because I look at this and I'm like, where's the May set? We're missing a May set. Oh, I don't know how much I would say some of this stuff is tingling me to purchase it, right? Like when you take a look at what's coming out, we got Spy Family, we got Chainsaw Man, Licorice Recoil, Bang Dream Fifth, My Go, Saikano, and Bocchi the Rock. It feels stale just because we already had this in JP a while ago, and some of this isn't going to be very good, right? Like Licorice Recoil. I don't know if you remember what that trial deck looked like, but I do. So if you don't, go back and check out my videos on how that did, because it's quite a doozy. And you're going to be blindsided by it if you didn't look up the prices. So if you have any other questions, let me know. You know, you can always reach me. Here's my address, email, Twitter, TCG player link. And again, if you're a channel member and do not have the Discord link, please let me know. But as always, have fun, be happy, and don't spend anything outside your budget. Have a good one.